why we have to do the risk assessment, the basic concept of it. And also we, as a risk manager, we have to be very clear about how, some of the basic concept, how we are going to implement the risk assessment. When we say that, okay, we have to know the objective of it, and what are the acceptable level of the risk, what kind of methods, techniques that you have to use. This is not so important. This is, you have done the risk assessment in your project. It is quite important for you, since I don't know which of you has been responsible for which part of the project, then it will be quite important for you to look about the risk assessment process, how you are going to define the scope, how you are going to assigning different authority, accountability and responsibility across the whole organization, how to choose different approaches to, no matter if you are using the quantitative or quantitative one, how you're going to use that. And remember, you have done your project. The question is, okay, yes, you can recite every single thing here. You can see that in one of the semesters we have a question on that. Yes, you can recite every single thing here, but it will not get you full score. In order to get a better score, you have to tell me some of the consideration, like when you are doing the choosing between qualitative and qualitative and quantitative approach. What were your consideration during your project? You have done that, you should know that. And also we have different types of tools that can help you to conduct a risk assessment. But once again, I'm not asking you to tell me every single thing here, recite every single thing here. That doesn't make sense. What I want you to do is to let me know, you understand that, you let me know what type of tools that is best used for what kind of situation. This is the more important thing. When we design the risk criteria, remember, especially after today's presentation, people will challenge you if you have got the same score for every single one. Remember, risk assessment, our key objective, ultimate objective is rank, prioritize the risk. If you cannot prioritize, this is not a good criteria for you. Okay. Once again, this is sort of those classification. As I mentioned in the lecture itself, they are not very important. This is only good for you to group them into when you're trying to design some of the solutions. They group them together so that you can some of the synergies that you can achieve among the control of different risks. And well, this is yes. When we are talking about the approaches of the risk assessment, we can have different types of it. And what are they good for? How are they going to implement in a real scenario? I'm not going to ask you to calculate anything. Since everyone got a calculator, will be able to score full marks. I'm not that type of examiner. Therefore, you can forget that. I can tell you, I will not ask you to calculate anything. Okay. And you can see that when we go through the whole lecture, although I said that I'm not going to examine you how you're going to calculate all this qualitative risk, but at least you have to get an understanding how they can be calculated. That means those definitions, why they are used as a quantifier, why we use SLE instead of ALE in terms of when we are trying to have a hybrid type of scale. You have to understand why the reason behind. Documentation also very important. When we talk about the risk assessment documentation, the major thing is that you have to bear in mind when we are trying to do the risk assessment, there are so many different types of information reports that you can rely on, and what are they? They are the data collection forms, minutes, all the reports, things like that. And why they are good for the analysis? You have done the project, you must understand the importance of all these reports for you. And you have the description and why they need that sort of documentations. Remember one thing, in the examination, I will use different names for the 4T interchangeably. That means sometimes you may see it is talking about reduction, reduce, mitigation, retain, accept. I'm not always going to tell you, okay, it is talking about the tolerance, always talking about the transfer. Sometimes I will use sharing. You have to bear in mind, since it is a common practice in the commercial world, you have to understand they are the same thing. And of course, in your answer script, you can also use it interchangeably, but don't mix it up. Don't try to mismatch all this thing. I've seen some of the script, they are trying to use different type of names or terms, but they use it wrongly. Then this is a very important thing. Different type of controls. Although I said it is not important to classify, okay, talking about the fire sprinkler, it is not so much important to tell me it is a corrective or preventive. But sometimes you still have to understand the basic concept, like preventive. Control is talking about lowering the probability. Corrective is talking about lowering the severity. And if you're talking about, okay, when we're trying to analyze the sprinkler, why it is a corrective control, because it can control the fire when it happens, blah, 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 things like that. You have to understand all this kind of stuff. And if you have any questions set on that particular topic, you have to explain to me why you think that kind of control can have that sort of characteristics. And once again, if you have done your project properly and you have participated in the discussion, there should not be any problem. You can even name some of the controls in your projects, since if you are more familiar with that. And therefore, I'm not going to go through all this. Remember the termination. Termination of risk is always talking about the termination of activities. Don't tell me in the examination that you can eliminate a risk without terminating the activity. That's not possible. The different type of controls techniques listed out here it is not very important, but it is a very good source of references for you when you're trying to revise. Since, like what I mentioned, I always try to ask you to give me some example. And thus, That's for example, maybe coming from your project, maybe you can make it up during the examination, but you have quite a lot of references here. If you have gone through that, you understand what they are, and then in the examination, you don't have to spend too much time to think about that. You can just tell me what you have the experience in here. Okay, I'm not going to go into the details. The monitoring part, the key important message or point of revision here must be one. First of all, here you have to understand when we are talking about the risk governance, we are talking about the governance structure and also governance process. Governance process, that means who is going to do what, how frequent they are, the turn of reference, or the roles and responsibility of the risk committee. Different parties in the risk architecture, they have got different responsibility. You have to understand that. Of course, I'm not saying that you have to, once again, you have to make the whole picture in the examination, there's no point to do it. But you have to bear in mind that there to have an effective risk architecture, at least you have to have the two layers. You have the layer of the risk committee to make the direction, that means the risk oversight committee, and you have to have the operating level to direct the working departments how they're going to comply with those policy, how they're going to make the control effective. You have the risk management committee, or whatever you call it, just to let me know strategic level, working level. This is the most effective way to do it. And you have to understand the three line of defense model. What are they? What they are responsible for. And when you tell me about the risk governance, remember it is not just talking about the structure. Structure is here. Yeah, this is the structure. The boxes are the structure. And the arrows are the governance process. That means what they need to do, who are going to control that. Since when we're talking about the risk architecture, we are not just talking about the structure, we're talking about the process as well. And if you are going to have the effective process, then you have to define the rules and responsibility. That means the charter very clearly. You have to set the meeting schedule, fixed schedule. Why you have to do that? Remember during the lecture we said that people have different priority. If you haven't got a fixed meeting schedule for the committees, you can never get all the people for your meetings. They have to understand the progress, they have to monitor the implementation, things like that. Risk reporting, another key aspect. The key aspect will be, we have discussed that, KRI. You can see that it's very important since the last two semesters, there's always a question here. Okay. All right. And also when we talk about risk assurance, we are not just talking about the internal audit. We are talking about different responsibility of different parties and in the risk assurance process. Even including risk, the audit committee, they have to ensure the risk management framework or process in the company is a good one.